Okay, your eyes don't deceive you. I'm doing another Type Moon one. I know people have been waiting for this one, so bear with me. This one's gonna be a pretty weird one because a lot of people don't know what the hell Tatari is, believe it or not, which is still kind of strange. But yeah, I've been meaning to do another Type Moon one, well, specifically Tsukihime / Melty Blood base. I just haven't had the time to because I'm dealing with other projects. So we'll get started with this. This was actually gonna be my next video, but I'm technically working on something else, but I needed to take a day off. I need to do more research on a certain aspect of that video. So I'm taking a couple of days off, and I'll get back to that later. So besides that, we're talking about Tatari. Very, very overpowered concept in the Tsukihime universe / Melty Blood universe, or in just Type Moon in general. Very broken. Okay, we got our quote. Thought ahead this time, and we'll expand on that later. So humans think in stories, and we are trapped in them. There's a lot of things we have to do here. I have to make a lot of notes because certain characters in Melty Blood, specifically Sion, the main character, the old main character, her feats get bloated out of proportion at times. We're gonna stick straight into the games, which is the original Melty Blood, all the way to Atlas again, card code 1.07. We're not gonna be talking about Sion in FGO. We're not gonna be talking about Sion in Undernight. Specifically only the first couple of Melty Blood games, and that's it. The games that actually involve Tatari. So primarily this could be about Sion and Wallachia. So anyways, let's get going. I've been waiting for this one for a while. Hello, what's up? I'm doing a lore video on Melty Blood, one of my favorite series. One of my favorite series, which Mugen and the poverty scene made famous. You've probably seen their sprites. They're amazing sprites. Oh, they're so amazing sprites. Okay. So Tatari. Where should we start? Tatari. I can't see it from here. I'll take a look after this. I just see. Is that Sonic with a Santa hat? I see blue. My eyes are terrible. Oh my god. Okay. Tatari. Tatari is not... It is that time of the year. It is definitely the holiday season. Thanksgiving's in a couple of days, and we got Christmas coming up. So shout outs to Christmas if you celebrate it. And if you don't, hey, enjoy the snow if you have the snow. But hold on. Tatari's not a living being. Living being. We got anime right now. This is totally to get copyrighted, but I'm gonna put this down a little bit. Just a tad bit. Anyways, that's what I was saying. Like Melty Blood sprites, very legendary sprites. We've used them in sprite animations, we've used them in Mugen. Hell, those sprites on top of like Sonic sprites put in work back in the day. Or Tatari's not a living being, or your conventional villain, or your conventional villain. Conventional villain. If I can actually spell conventional villain. Back when I was actually doing tournaments, I used to play fighting games at pretty, no, I would say like a decent level. Melty Blood was one of my main games. I'm gonna be cheeky because we're just doing an introductory passage, so I can actually see how I'm gonna go about this. So it's primarily a phenomenon. It only shows up a few times in like a certain amount of years. It's a phenomenon. If I can spell this properly, it's a phenomenon. Hey, damn it! I spelled it. That manifests. It's very dumb because it brings like any rumor alive. So when human fear, put Tatari on Rokenjima and they're cooked. They're God, they're all cooked. Human fear, rumor, and a collective belief. be careful here. Wallachia. Wallachia is awesome. He's the stuff of legends when it comes to memes. Mostly because of his mannerisms in the VA. His VA always plays vampire roles, which is actually really good. Serve as its most infamous anchor, and later I'm not going to be saying her entire name. I'm just going to be calling her Sion throughout the whole entire thing because that's ridiculous. And later, Sion Eltnam Altasia. God damn, you fucking sub her. Altasia. There we go. And later, Sion Eltnam Altasia becomes linked through it. Becomes linked through her vampirism. We're gonna do a little rant. We're not gonna rant. We're gonna do a little powwow in a second. There's a lot of things we have to talk about in regards to this because Tight Moon, especially Tsukihime / Melty Blood, gets very, very complicated, and people aren't in the know-how about a lot of things, which we're gonna touch upon. Like, I know I get a lot of shit when I have my own opinions because apparently you can't have opinions on YouTube. I learned it the hard way, but we're gonna definitely aware people today. I have the credentials. All right, showing later Sion Eltnam Altasia becomes linked through her vampirism, showing Altatsuri. Showing how Tatsuri spreads. There we go. Okay. All right, so we have to have a little powwow here. We're gonna be talking a lot. For the people that play Tsukihime, that read the visual novel, for the people that play Melty Blood, the minority, and for the people that play Fate Stay Night or just play FGO. I wouldn't even count Under Night because Under Night, she's there, but it's not really her. But Sion is a vampire. She is still a vampire. It's just her circumstances are weird because of how Wallachia works. We're going to get into it later, but yes, Wallachia turned her into a vampire, sucked a lot of her blood, and she becomes a host for Tatsuri. Okay, fine. But Wallachia works different from other apostles. He's the specific phenomenon, not the vampire Wallachia, which we'll get to later. The specific phenomenon only shows up. I'll get the exact number. It's been a bit. It only shows up X amount of years for that one night. So Sion is repressing all her. She's repressing her vampiric pulses the entire time. Once the night of Wallachia comes, her impulses just go completely batshit crazy. Then this is how you get V Sion. But yes, she's still a vampire. You can't get rid of vampirism. You just can't get rid of vampirism that easily, especially in Tight Moon. Hell no. And again, vampires in Tight Moon, they're not like conventional vampires. They are absolutely positively busted in every single way imaginable. The sun don't mean shit, but yeah, we definitely have to get to the meat and potatoes about a lot of things here. Like, I'll be going on my monologues. Don't hate me for it, but I have a lot that we have to clear up, especially when it comes to Melty Blood. But yes, that's a big misconception right there for the people that know this character. Yes, she's still a vampire. It's just her vampirism is very specific. Like, majority of the time, she's repressing her impulses. But when Wallachia shows up, oh yeah, that just goes out the window. And we're not even getting to feats. Because again, I don't know what it is. She's totally inconsistent in regards to a lot of things, which we'll get to later. I'm actually gonna drink, I'm gonna preemptively drink alcohol right now because I'm not gonna be going on tangents in a little bit for the next 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Tatari is not a living being or a conventional villain. It's a phenomenon that manifests when human fear, rumor, and a collective belief becomes known. I forget. Becomes known. Wallachia served as his most infamous anchor. Later, Sion becomes linked through her vampirism, showing how Tatari spreads. Okay, that's fine. So, it also manifests. I cannot spell. Excuse me. It also manifests as rumored born forms, which we're gonna get into a lot. Rumor-born forms, such as the alter egos, such as the alter ego characters in Melty Blood. We're gonna get to that in a second. Let me just finish this last passage, and we can actually go into that. We're gonna be cheeky. We're definitely gonna be cheeky here. All right. Reflecting that its existence, depends. That its existence depends. Depends on the narrative. It depends on the narrative and belief. Narrative and belief rather than physical or magical mechanics. Okay. Okay. Tatari is not a living being or your conventional villain. It's a phenomenon that manifests when human fear, rumor, and a collective belief becomes known. Wallachia served as its most infamous anchor, and later Sion Eltnam Altasia becomes linked through her vampirism, showing how Tatari spreads. It also manifests as rumor-born forms such as alter ego characters in Melty Blood, reflecting that its existence depends on narrative and belief rather than physical or magical mechanics. So, okay, if you played the original Melty Bloods, the majority of that cast is literally just Tatari characters. Besides Tohno, Arcueid, Sion herself, the maids, Len, Aoko, Akiha, Miyako. Pretty much, if you're a good character, you're not them. But if you're on the, we'll use actress again as the perfect example right there. If you're on the right side of the character select screen, you're probably most likely a Tatari character because it's usually based on their alter ego. So, Sion, V Sion, Akiha, V Akiha, Tohno, Nanaya, or just hell, Nero being brought back from the dead, Roa being brought back from the dead. A majority of those characters that are actually like evil characters are either alter egos or evil characters that have been killed and have been brought back because of a rumor that brought them back because the Nasuverse is happening. So this is why Tatari is so busted, because it brings back people that are dead, and it's not like they're like empty husks. They're back as if nothing ever happened to them. That is I'm getting animated. I'm getting animated right now. Well, calm down. That is busted. That is extremely, extremely busted. It's not without its faults, which we're gonna jot down. It does have its limitations. Like, let's just say Nanaya is a cold-blooded killer that's killing people at midnight. There's a rumor going around of a cold-blooded killer that's killing people at night. Nanya, it's Nanaya. So Nanya's now in physical form doing whatever he wants to do. Probably pissed off because he'd rather not be doing stuff. It won't bring Nanya back. It won't make Nanya with mystic eyes of death perception, because that would be overpowered. Because Shiki Nanaya is still a part of Shiki Tohno. So if you kill Tatsuri Nanaya, that's fine. Tatsuri Nanaya is dead. But he's still regular old Nanya still exists in Shiki's subconscious, because it's just an alternate. It's just an alternate ego of Shiki. It's the original self. We did a video on this. It's the original Shiki persona that's repressed. So even if you kill Tatsuri Nanya, it's like, whatever, the other one's still there. The actual one's still there. So, prime example of Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception Nanya is the one that killed Nero. Because Nero is overpowered. Because you have to kill him 666 times. Oh, you have to kill this creature 666 times, which Nanya casually just did, just funsies. But, I'm not saying, we're not going to downplay Tatsuri Nanya whatsoever. He's still Nanya minus Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception. So it does have its limitations. Like using Wark as an example, Wark is still going to be a very powerful being because it's still literally Arcueid just pissed off, but it's not going to be as powerful as normal Arcueid pissed off. So again, it does have its limitations. But it's still absolutely busted because it can bring back the dead just casually, and they're just like, hey, look, I'm back. They're aware that they're back, which is the funny thing. The irony is, I should stop ranting. Let's stop ranting, because I'm gonna be here for like hours. I love talking about Tsukihime and Melty Blood. Okay, so we got our introductory passage. Now let's talk about what Tatsuri actually is. So that'll be section 1. What is Tatsuri? Fuck, no, let's not do that yet, because I gotta put notes for myself. So section 1 will be what is Tatsuri, but this is just notes that I need to make sure I follow. North Geo, no. I'm not talking because I'm trying to like really like focus right here, because I need to make sure I cover every base. Definitely. Wow, we are really cooking. Weekend. I cannot spell. Flex this weekend state. She praised blood because she didn't have any blood, like at all. Because Sion is literally like, yeah, I gotta repress this. All right. Okay. Vanilla Sion scales to at least the demons, Akia and Koma. More so Akia because Koma is stronger because of the more purity of the blood, but Akia again would gatekeep her. Anyone below Akia is pretty much fair game. We have to remember Shion is still indeed a vampire, but she is heavily weakened. So she represses her vampiric impulses. Also remember, Walachi took a massive amount of her blood from her. Each Shion sprite, especially her OG, reflects this weakened state. So whenever she's in the area of the Night of Walachi, her impulses go berserk and she craves blood. All right, I'm gonna do like another 5 minutes. And again, I was supposed to be working on my other video, but I need to take some time to finish doing some refresher research, which is probably gonna take me a couple of days. So I was like, all right, this would be my next video anyways I was gonna do, so I might as well start it today. I do have a Human Echo one planned right after this one, so people that like Melty Blood, Tsukihime, or just Fate or Type Moon lore in general, just hey, you guys are gonna be eating good. Okay. Okay, we have to remember. So all right. So we're gonna. I'll. Okay. So we'll do a little powwow real quick. So I know I'm doing a hot take, but hear me out. I literally just wrote a good chunk of this right now. So yes, she is literally the Batman of this verse. She has a lot of prep. If she has prep time via research, yes, she could probably hang with people. Not she could probably hang, but not be a good chunk of the characters because remember, Melty Blood takes place after Tsukihime. She will not be Tohno. Damn, that's actually going in. Hold on. And damn, Lofi music goes so good, but fortunately, this is gonna get copyrighted. And that was my phone. We'll get that in a second. So, interesting. So, when it comes to characters in Tsukihime, she'll have a very tough time. Besides her being in her weakened state, a lot of the characters in that verse are extremely broken. She's not gonna be Arcueid. Definitely not gonna be Arcueid. Although we already have evidence of her saying, yeah, I can't win, I'm leaving. Because Alco is very busted in this verse as well. When it comes to the Dead Apostles, I can't even see her even like touching Nero because again, Nero you have to beat Nero in a very oddly specific way. Roa was giving people trouble. And plus, Roa is broken. Roa, if you want to be cute about it, Roa has to be killed effectively by the Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception because he's just going to keep on reviving himself into other bodies. CL, she can humor CL. If it's CL, if Roa's around, she's not being CL because you can't do anything. CL's immortal. If Roa's around, CL is pretty much literally you just can't do anything. She's just gonna keep on coming back regardless because CL was one of Roa's hosts back in the day. So if he's around, she's can't kill him. But if he's dead, it would just come to a battle of experience. Like CL's ancient, very ancient. If you've read the visual novel and the other supporting media, CL's pretty old. So I would say in regards to experience, yeah, she probably would lose because CL has more experience. But again, it's getting into weird death battle type of areas. But I'm just using this as an example. This is why I wrote that because they scale her weird in certain media. For example, in the Melty Blood manga, she survived getting cut by Tohno with his glasses off. As we know, Tohno with his glasses off, Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception are completely active. And their excuse was Tohno cut her tendons, her major tendons, wrists, over here, and wherever. That's not how the Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception works in a way, because whatever Tohno cuts, like let's just say he cut her wrist right here. That whole arm's getting lopped off, the whole hand's getting lopped off. So the Melty Blood manga is not really good in regards to like facts. And obviously I was pissed off when I was ticked off when she used the Etherlight as replacement for her central nervous system. Like, you did what? Wow. So this is why it's like using anything outside of the actual Melty Blood games is just all over the place because they probably buffed her just because of how I wouldn't say she's freeing Melty Blood. Like again, she can hang. It's just once it gets like to the actual busted people, she's not gonna be able to do anything. So that's probably why they buffed her in like the manga. But yeah, like anybody to Akiha, the coma, she's probably not gonna get past Akiha because Akiha is pretty powerful just in her own right. Her flames are actually really busted. In Coma, we've seen Coma literally massacre the entire Narnia clan with help, mind you. Not getting past Nero, definitely not getting past Roa. Wallachia, That's the thing. Sion has help. By herself, hell no. But if she has Tohno, usually she's with Tohno, she can it's party time. Like Tohno's there just for I got you, fam. Obviously hell no with Alco. Archetype Earth, let's not even like get to there. Ryogi's a guest character, but Ryogi clears pretty much a good chunk of Ryogi clears a good chunk of people regardless. But yeah. This is why we have to be very specific when we're dealing with Sion. And again, Shion's an Under Night, which she's more so seen as a joke character. She's a guest. And FTO is literally, we'll just take away everything that happened in Melty Blood like it never existed. So she still stayed at Atlas, which is still really bad. Okay. Alright, so we need to make sure we are following just Melty Blood games. So OG up to Melty Blood actions again, current code 1.7. No Illumina, no FTO, no Under Night. To add, we need to focus on the Sion that's DMC in the original games. We can't use outside media because they are not consistent and they buff her and give her feats that she should never do. It should be noted that Vanilla Sion is quite literally Batman. She needs prep to fight or somewhat hang with people. Vanilla Sion skills to at least the demons, Akia and Koma. Akia would gatekeeper because again, Akia is pretty she's really ridiculously powerful. It's just she doesn't get a lot of credit for what she can do. We have to remember Sion is indeed still a vampire, but she's heavily weakened because the amount of blood that Wallachia took from her and the fact that she hasn't had blood in all those years. There's a reason why when she gives into her impulses and V Sion comes out, she's literally like crouched like this. Like she's literally a corpse with no blood. That's why she's hungry. We have to remember Sion is indeed a vampire, but so heavily weakened. She represses her vampire impulses. Also, remember, Wallachia took a massive amount of her blood from her. V Sion spray, especially her OG one, back when she had a gun, shows this. So whenever she's in the area of the Night of Wallachia, her impulses go berserk and she craves blood. So in this, we can say she would have difficulty once she gets to the upper echelon of Tsukihime characters, because again, like I mentioned, it's like there's not really much she can do against like the big boys. Okay, we can do more tomorrow. So I do apologize, I kind of rambled on, but there's gonna be a lot of me rambling because there's a lot of things we need to like talk about. Because Tatari is it's an aspect of Type Moon that people don't really know about because a lot of people didn't play Melty Blood. Because I'll never forget back when this channel was doing anime figures. Like I have a good chunk of my anime figure reviews that I did on this channel was primarily like Fate Stay Night, Tsukihime, and a couple of Melty Blood ones. And I remember someone commented on one of my videos and was like, yeah, some of these characters look like fake characters. I'm like, wow. Wow. That's how you know people don't know what the fuck Melty Blood is. And I responded, Melty Blood is a spin-off of Tsukihime, and Tsukihime is made by Type Moon, which is part of the Nasuverse, which Fate is a part of. So, yeah, go figure. But this is gonna be a relatively good one. We just gotta make sure we don't like miss any details because Wallachia is definitely just Tatari in general is a very broken thing. Especially since it's a phenomenon. Like Arcueid had to brute force Wallachia out of that in order for them to actually fight, and they were still getting there. Well, going off the manga, they were still getting cooked. But we won't be going off the manga. But so yeah, like it took Arcueid brute forcing Wallachia out of that state, and she couldn't even fight him. She had to hold back. She had to use her chains to keep it intact, so he wouldn't go back into there, if I remember correctly. But anyways, we got started with this good shit. Again, we're gonna be rambling a lot about this. I do plan on redoing all my Type Moon videos because when I first got started doing lores, because this initially was an anime figure channel, but I can't really do that no more because I'm in the military, and there's a lot of reasons why I can't do that. But besides the point, dealing with a chest injury that I got in combat, I got the Tohno scar across my chest, which gave me a permanent speech impediment. So I had to use an AI voice that I built that sounded like Obama using 11 Labs. People liked it, but people preferred that I actually use my own voice. So yeah, that's actually something that I was doing for a while until I actually got better. My voice still kind of is fucked, but it is what it is. So I'll redo some of those old videos so we can actually have my actual voice. So let's get started with section 1, then I'll wrap things up. So section 1, what is Tatari? What is Tatari? So Tatari is a phenomenon. Let me see if I butcher this spelling again. Tatari is a phenomenon. Not a living being. Yeah, would be cute. Not a living. Also, hopefully people like that thumbnail. That thumbnail took a while to make. Living being. Tatari. All right, I'm gonna be very cheeky here. I'm gonna change this later, but it's just for me to actually get a good baseline for this. Tatari is a supernatural effect. Caused by human here. And like I mentioned before, having like Tatari on Rokenjima, yeah, they're cooked. God, we'll have actual Beatrice versus Beatrice mirror matches. Not a conscious. No, we'll keep it like that. So we'll do one more bullet point. It's temporary. The big one, temporary. Tatari only shows, well, specifically the Nasuverse Altasia shows up during a specific night during X amount of years. Which is why Sion, again, still being a vampire, don't forget, isn't like poop for Cocoa Puffs like normal vampires, because sure, she's repressing her impulses, but she doesn't have like crazy drawbacks. Because again, the Nasuverse Altasia only shows up during that specific period. Once it shows up, all hell just breaks loose. It manifests during specific periods, lasting one night. Then it dissipates. Then it dissipates. Then it dissipates until the conditions until it returns. It's very busted, extremely busted. So again, we're gonna cook with this one, but I do apologize. We're gonna have a lot of me just staring into the camera talking, because there's a lot of aspects of this that people don't know, and this is my job. It's not my job. I just love talking about Tsukihime, and I just like talking about Type Moon in general. It's very intricate and very complex. So good stuff. I did about 30 minutes over work, so 40 minutes over work. So tomorrow I'll do some more. I do got to get back to my other project I'm working on, but just taking a couple of days off so I can do some more further research. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the thumbnail. And if you guys have any more Type Moon related videos, just let me know. I take requests. So anyway.